Hello everyone, my name is Amit and now we are going to talk about Microsoft Visio 2010. Microsoft Visio 2010 is a tool that helps us to create a variety of drawings ranging from network diagrams to calendars and from office layouts to flowcharts. So let's learn how to go ahead and draw these diagrams. Now this is how the Visio home screen looks like. Okay, so whenever you type Visio in the search bar, okay, and click enter, so this is how it's going to look like. Now from here you'd get to see the template categories. Now in this section you would see the recently used templates, and in this section you would get to see the various templates pertaining to any particular domain. For example, if I want to draw a flowchart or a data flow diagram which is to do with business, then I can simply click on business option, and when I do so it will give me various options which are available within this category, that is business. So here I see audit diagram, brainstorming diagram, cause and effect diagram. Now if I want to get a hint as in what it pertains to or what exactly the cause and effect diagram mean, then I can simply click on this option and it will give me a brief description of the cause and effect diagram. So it says that you can create cause and effect diagram, also known as fishbone or Ishikawa diagram, to systematically review factors that affect or contribute to a given situation. Document Six Sigma and ISO 9000 processes. So this is why we use the cause and effect diagram. Now let's get back to home. Now we being from IT industry, mostly we would be using either software and database options, or we'll be using the network options, or we will be simply using the flowchart option. So within flowchart option, these are the various categories that you get to see. Okay, now let's continue with the basic flowchart diagrams. Once I've made the selection, I need to click on create. The moment you click on the create option, it will navigate you to this screen. Now let me familiarize you with this screen. Now this particular section here is known as the quick access toolbar. This is the title bar. This particular section is known as the ribbon. This is the file tab. This is the shapes window, because we can minimize it and we can maximize this particular window. Then these are the shapes that you can use. This is known as the status bar. This is the pages tab. We can control zoom percentage from this particular section, and this is known as the scroll bar. And here we go ahead and draw our diagram. So this is the drawing page. So let me go ahead and quickly explain as in how do we go ahead and draw a flowchart. Now previously we had to manually draw the shape. However, in the current version we don't have to do any such activity. Alright, all we have to do is we need to select the option. Let's say I want to start a flowchart, so we know that this particular shape is used for start and end process. Alright, then I have a process in place, so I use this particular box. Okay, now then I have a decision box in place, which the action would be performed, and then again I have a process in place. Okay, let me just adjust the spacing a bit, and then we have the end process. Okay, so let's say that I'm simply going to talk about few steps that you may be required to follow to log in to a system. Start, enter username and password, check whether user exists or not. Okay, initiate login, and let's say ends here. Okay, so this is a dummy sort of a flowchart that I've created for you. Now what we are going to learn is how to use the connectors to connect these boxes. If you want to change the background or the font style or size, how to do that. So these are a few basic things that we are going to learn with the help of this particular video presentation. So for connecting boxes, you can use this option connector. Okay, now once you do that, the place from where you want to connect, place your mouse there. Now you'll see this red box getting highlighted. Click and bring it to the point you want it to connect to. Right? So this has been connected. This signifies that they are not in alignment. So probably you'll have to move the decision box a bit. So now they are perfectly aligned. Likewise, if I am to connect this again, I have to move this process box a bit. Here it is. And then again I have to perform the same action for AND as well. Alright, so let's say this is how it looks like. The decision box will always have two outputs, a yes or a no. So if it's a no, you have to click this particular icon and double click the box. So if it's a no, then end process, and if it's a yes, then go ahead and initiate the login process. Okay. Alright. So now let's say the text size here is not visible and I need to work on the text size a bit. So I again double click it. I choose the appropriate text style. So let's say I want to go with Arial. I want the text size to be, or the font size to be 10. Okay. Now this looks better. It is pretty readable now. And I want this to have some color in it. It's looking too dull. So I go and click on this fill option. Select the appropriate color that I want to use. So let's say I want to use purple and this shade. Right, and this is what I want to apply to all other boxes. So now what I can do is, as I've already worked on the color options, the font style and size, and I don't want to repeat the same action time and again, so I need to simply go and click the format painter option and apply the same format everywhere. Okay, so this makes our life easy. Okay, now the other thing that we can do is, let's say I want to name this particular chart. So I can click on this text option, come here, and I can simply mention login process. Though it's not a process, but it's just for, you know, the presentation purpose that I'm using these terminologies, so please don't go by it. And again, if I need to make it bold, double click, Control B, or you can simply click the B button here. I want it to be Arial, and I want this to be 15. Okay. Now it's quite possible that you may be required to insert a document to this flowchart. So if there is any such requirement, then you simply need to go to Insert, click Object, Create from File, look for the file wherever it is placed. So let's say this is the document I need to insert. Okay. So this is how it's looking like, and I need to simply, reshape the size. Okay, so this is how you go ahead and insert a document. Now if there's any comment that you want to make, so you can always use callouts for making any particular comment. So it's quite possible that you think that there is a comment that the author needs to look into. Okay, so you can just place a comment here. So this is another option that can be used. Apart from that, again going back to the home screen, it's quite possible that apart from a document, it may have certain footnotes. So if you have to put in certain footnotes, use a rectangle shape. That is the recommended one. Okay, so let's say this is the box that is created, and let's name it as observations. Okay, and this needs to be in bold, and this needs to be left aligned top. Okay, now whatever observations you have, they are in bullet points, so we can remove this one. Okay, and we can start from here. Flow chart is not looking appropriate. Likewise, so this is again a comment that I've inserted to just give an example. Okay, so moving to insert, let's see whether there's anything else that needs to be covered. No. In the design, well, in design you can work with the orientation. You have two options. One is portrait, the other is landscape. So whatever is the requirement of the project, you can go ahead and use that. For print sake, if you want to take a printout of whatever flowchart or DFD, that is the data flow diagram you have prepared, then you can go ahead and use it from this particular section. So printouts are mostly taken in A4 size, so you can choose A4 from here. Okay. Now this particular section talks about the various themes, the color themes that Microsoft has provided. Okay, so if I go and hover the mouse, you can see that at times the color changes. So if I go for this particular theme, then everything in my flowchart is going to look like this. Okay, so again it depends as in which theme do you want to use and how it's going to look like and stuff like that. Okay, data, we don't have much to talk about. Process, again same thing applies to process as well. Review, yes, if you want to put in some comment while you're reviewing the flowchart, you can go ahead and put a comment by clicking the new comment option and then putting your notes, whatever you wish to. Okay, and once the comment is taken care of, you can go ahead and delete the comment. Okay, in view section, you can go ahead and use few features that you get to see here. For example, if you don't want this grid to be visible once the flowchart or the data flow diagram has been prepared and finalized, so you can just uncheck this flag and the grid goes away. Likewise, if you don't want this ruler to show, then again you can click this option and the ruler vanishes. If you don't want the page breaks to be visible, what happens is, let's say if I'm drawing a flow chart and it extends beyond this particular page. Okay, just give me a second. Let me just show it to you. So let's say I have a document and I need to place it here, right? So what it did was it automatically created the second page because it extended beyond the boundaries of the first page. So in view section, if we don't want this page break to be visible, we can just uncheck this flag. So this page break also goes away, and likewise guides. Okay, so these are a few things that you can use from view tab to make it look more presentable. Apart from that, if you want to use some quick styles which are to do with the shapes of some other module, let's say engineering, then you can simply click engineering, let's say electrical engineering and analog. So it's quite possible that you may be requiring a shape from this particular option. Just give me a second. Okay, all right, and once you're done with it, again you can click the basic flowchart shapes, you move to that. Okay, now if you don't need this particular option in your quick styles pane, then you can go ahead and right click it and click on close. It will close or remove that particular option from this navigation pane which appears on the left hand side. That is the shapes section. Okay, so if you want to save it, you can click on save or save as. If you want to rename it, if you want to print it, you can click the print option and take a print. And if you want to save and send, then you can click on save and send and use the appropriate option to go ahead and send the email. And once you're done with everything, then you can simply click on exit to exit Visio. I have not saved it, so that's the reason it's asking me to save. So as of now, I would not be required to. So let me say don't save, and it exits you from there. Alright guys, so that's more or less about Visio. In case you need additional help or you need any additional information that has not been covered in this particular presentation, then you can feel free to approach your training team or your team leader or your supervisor. Thank you so much.